We are continuing working our way through the notes on inner joins, outer joins, and views. And let's go down to where we want to pick up here. Okay, so we're at the section that talks about views. A view is a virtual table. Virtual means fake, so it looks and acts like a table, but it is constructed from other tables or from other views. So it doesn't have its own data. It pulls data from other tables or other views. And you use a select statement to define a view. And you can't have an order by clause. So some of the uses, you can hide columns or rows, show the results of computer columns, hide complicated SQL, and there are a number of advantages, and we are going to create some views in Access. We will use the ViewRidge tables as our data, and we will link to it from a ViewRidge code file. Okay, so I have already done that, and another thing is you must have the SQL 1992 standard enabled in order to do them in Access. And so here's what we're going to do first. We are going to, the way you create a view is with a create view statement. And you can give it whatever name you want. It's kind of nice to put view on the end so that we know that it's a view and not a table. And then the word as, and then this is just an ordinary select statement, except it doesn't have an order by clause. So last name, and we're going to rename it. First name, we're going to rename it from the customer. And this will create a view that if somebody accesses it, the only thing they will see is the first name and the last name. They will not see everything that's in the customer table. So what we're doing here is we are hiding some columns. Okay, so you can control the access to your data by using views. So let's copy this. This one is pretty straightforward. And let's flip over to Access here, and let's create a new query. Okay, let's go ahead and run it. We should see a view appear over here. Views are going to appear in the query section in Access. So there it is. Now let's double click on it. And we have a customer last name followed by a customer first name. That's all we can see. Okay, let's flip back over to Word. Let's try another example here. So now we can treat the view as a table. We'll try this select statement here, and it's going to do exactly what you would expect it to do. Let's go back to our query here. We don't need this anymore. Let's paste in the new one. So I want to get everything from the customer name view, and now I want it ordered by last name and then first name. So let's go ahead and run this, and now it's ordered by last name and then first name. Okay, let's flip back over to Word. You can use views to hide columns just by leaving them out. Well, that's just what we did a minute ago. We can try another one here. Basic data view is what we're going to call this one. Let's go to our query, and let's go to SQL View, and we will delete this. And so now we have another customer basic data view. And we're going to have last name as customer last name, first name, and then we're going to add the area code and the phone number. Let's go ahead and run that. And now if we look at our customer basic data view, you know, it seems like it should highlight the new one over here, but it doesn't. Whatever was highlighted before is the one that stays highlighted. So this is our new one up here, and we get the 4 fields that we asked for. Okay, let's flip back over to Word, see what else we've got here. And so here's a select statement that'll pull all that up. We don't really need to execute that. That's pretty straightforward. You can also use views to hide rows. So if you want to hide rows, you just select some of the rows, which means you have to put a where clause in there somewhere. So this is going to be customer basic data and then WA for Washington view. And we're going to select the last name as customer last name, first name as customer first name, area code, phone number, and state. So let's copy this. Let's go to our query, delete what's there, paste it in. So we're only going to select the ones that are from Washington. If we go over here and do a little filter, we are going to get, I probably won't remember these, but Jeffrey, Tiffany, Fred, and Chris. So let's go back here. Let's run this. That's what I say. Jeffrey, Tiffany, Fred, and Chris. Jeffrey, Tiffany, Fred, and Chris. There we go. I did remember. Okay, let's flip back over to Word. So to retrieve that data, all the user would have to do is just do a select star from Customer Basic Data, Washington View, and they wouldn't have to go through all of this. You can also create computed columns and make those visible. So we're going to create a view called Customer Phone View. We're going to select the last name, the first name, and then we're going to combine the phone number and the area code together into something called Customer Phone, and we're going to format it the typical way with parenthesis, area code, parenthesis, and then a space right here, and then the rest of the phone number. So let's go ahead and let's copy this. Let's flip over to Access. We can close some of these things we've got open from before here. Okay, and let's paste in our new one. So we should get three fields here: customer last name, customer first name, and customer phone in a view called Customer Phone View. Let's go ahead and run it. There's Customer Phone View over here. And we have the customer phone now is one field instead of two, with the parentheses and the space around the area code. Okay, let's flip back over to Word. So again, you just have to do a select star. You can also use it to hide complicated SQL syntax. So if we're doing a double join, joining three tables together, we can create a view of that join. So we're going to call this customer interests. And if we take a look at what we're going to do here, we're going to select the last name and the first name and the artist name. And we're going to go to the customer table. And remember that we had this customer artist interest table that was an intersection table of IDs from the customer and IDs from the artist. And the IDs don't provide us with much useful information, so what we'd like to do is take the customer, join it with the customer artist interest table, and we would get a two columns back. We would we get two columns back, but the columns we'd be concerned with would be the customer ID number along with the customer name, which is what we're going to pull from up here. So it's going to match up all the customer information with the customer ID, say, on the left side. And then if we've got the artist ID on the right side, when we get done with that, we're going to join that result with the artist. And we're going to match up on the right side here with the artist information, just the artist name. We'll get all the information, but all we're selecting is the artist name. So it's going to basically take that intersection table and match it up with the artist names on one side, the customer names on the other side, and once we've got all three of those joined together, then we're just going to pull out the customer first name and last name and the artist name. So let's, and we're going to call that view Customer Interest View. So let's copy that to the clipboard. Let's flip over to Access. We can close this, and we can delete the previous query, paste in the one to create the Customer Interest View. Let's go ahead and run that. And our customer interest view is right here. We open that, we get the customer's last name, we get the customer's first name, and we find out who they're interested in. And it looks like it's coming back by, I'm pretty sure these are the ID numbers of the artist. So this is coming back in ID number order for the artist. And of course, here, if you want to sort it, and you want to group it by customer now, which is probably more likely, then you can see all of the things that each customer is interested in.